All right, so thanks for joining us with AWAKEN Radio, and we have a wonderful guest here with us today, Dee Wallace, which some of you may know as the mom from E.T., among other things, and she's had an amazing spiritual journey and is very gifted, and I was amazed to hear her story, and it was a pleasure to meet her, and it's just wonderful that she agreed to do an interview with us, and I'm here with Nicole, who's going to lead our interview, and welcome, Dee. Thanks for joining us.
So nice to be here.
And I'll let Nicole take it from here.
Hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Why not, right?
Right. I guess to get things rolling, I wondered what started you on your spiritual journey, or what called you to the spiritual path?
Well, I think we're all born into our spiritual path. We just don't recognize it, and most of us don't expand upon it. But we are spiritual beings, period, that come in a physical body. We all know that. So, I got tired of not being happy. That's the short answer.
Yeah.
And that, I can tell you all my story, but when we tell our story, we often get stuck in it.
Yeah.
I come from a very poor family. My dad was an alcoholic who committed suicide.
Wow.
And on the other end of that was incredibly creative and a good dad when he was sober. And I had amazingly strong women who held it all together and really taught me integrity and love and personal power. Just really, really strong broad. And, I'm in a business where it's very much up and down, where you can be taken advantage of and kind of reaped over the coals if you choose to perceive it that way. And my husband died early on. He was 54 when he passed away. And I just got really tired of blaming all of that for not being happy and not going ahead and creating everything else that was available to me. And so when I was a little girl, I channeled. I didn't know it was channeling. I thought it was just my imagination, and I was hearing voices like all the kids were. And then I put it away for a while. And then when I met my husband, Christopher, he was very involved in an amazing precursor to The Secret and all of it called conceptology that had been around since the 30s. And I started working with him and learning that philosophy about creating your life, and that kind of stirred up my interest in spirituality, and I started studying it again. And then my acting career went into full bloom, and I found this amazing teacher called Charles Conrad, and lo and behold, what was his technique of acting? It was channeling the character. So I really was able to pinpoint what I was doing in acting, and then when I really got into my spiritual teaching and my radio show and doing sessions and all that, I went, oh my God, this is what I've been doing in my acting all my life. So in a nutshell, that's it.
That's great. That's great. I guess you touched upon a few things that I was going to ask you about, and one of those was how it connects, like how your spiritual path connects with your acting career, and that's really awesome. Have you found that it really does connect with your acting career?
Whoever you are, that you take into everything. You take into your family, you take into your business, you take into your health, you take into your financial world. So obviously, and actually it's kind of what I'm known for as an actor, is the vulnerability and the truthfulness that I bring to a part. And that's because I don't come from my head. I don't try to figure it out. I just am really in the heart of the character in the moment. It's a whole technique that's based on certain principles, but that's the simplest way to explain it. And for me, when I found that, it was freedom.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about making wrong decisions or wrong choices, because it was very clear to me who she was about, what the character was about, what drove her, why she made the decisions that she did. And that, I think, is the real power behind my healing work. I'm a clairaudient channel, and I'm just able to tap into people's energies and be able to extrapolate where the blocks are, where they're working against themselves. Because ultimately, that's what's going on with all of us. We're just not in harmony with what we say we want.
Yeah. So you're channeling other people's energies and getting information from their higher self?
No, I'm really channeling the energy. Because science, and this is a scientific fact, everything's energy. That's all there is energy. Energy needs direction. You're never going to get rid of energy, but you can refocus energy so that it goes a different way and takes on a different form. So if I don't want to hate anymore, I take my energy and I make the choice and I focus it toward love. And I go, okay, I'm not going to think hateful thoughts. I'm not going to think the thoughts that go, Dee, they're all against you, because that's not a loving thought. And that's not going to keep me in harmony with getting what I want. So the truth is the truth is the truth. And I just tap into the truth, basically. But we're all just struggling to integrate ourselves and be in alignment with ourselves. Everybody says, oh, I want more money, I want more money. And I go, well, okay, so what do you think about money? Well, I hate money because I don't have it.
Right.
So, how are you going to hate money and then get more money? Because if money was a divine right relationship in your life, if you walked up to your significant other and said, I really want to have a relationship with you, but I hate you.
Right.
Just walk the other way. Well, if everything's energy, money does the same thing. And the health of your body does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all comes down to love.
That's awesome.
Everything.
That's
Heals
awesome.
everything, creates everything, loves the answer. We've heard it forever, but we don't buy it because it's just too easy.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the world appears a lot of times as not focused in love, but we don't realize that the world is mirroring back to us our own belief system.
Right. Right. So is that what you mean when you talk on your podcast about aligning yourself every day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because if your chakras aren't open and your heart isn't open and your mind isn't open and you're not in alignment with Source, which is you as Source also, then, it's like a dam. It gets stopped up. It can't flow. You can't feel the ease. And you're supposed to feel the ease if you're not in your own way.
Right.
So can I ask what you do as part of your daily practice for aligning yourself?
Well, I do that before I get out of bed. My heart is open, front and back, and merged with my whole brain, because you want your heart and your brain to be working together, and you go to your heart first for the answers, and then you go, okay, this is where I want to go. Now, brain, find the synapses in there to take me that way. So my heart is open, front and back, aligned with my whole brain. My chakras are open, balanced, spinning in the right direction. My Hara, H-A-R-A line is straight, strong, and through the ID point, and I am aligned with Source. And that at least gets me into balance and gets me open before I ever step out of bed. And, then you turn on the news and you hear about a terrorist attack, you're going to close up again. So you have to be conscious to keep yourself open, keep yourself aligned, so that your energy flows and you don't go into reaction. Because as soon as you're in reaction to anything, you have stopped your creation.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's really pretty simple, but you have to start living consciously. You have to start really being aware of you driving you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the key is that it's making that consciousness a practice every day in every moment, and coming back to that.
Yeah, it's living the muscle of consciousness, and we don't. We've been taught to live in the muscle of reaction, and like any good dancer, you can start out with a fumbling one pirouette, but if you want to do 5, you got to train your muscles, and your mindset to work on that until it's second nature. Any athlete will tell you that. But we get to the greatest challenge of the sport of living, and we go, oh, well, there's no answers. This is just, happenstance, and stuff happens, and I have to handle it. Well, that's not true. What's true is that you have the biggest muscle in the world, your brain. It's just been taught to exercise the wrong things. The doubts and the fears and the wrong focus point in your life.
So how would you advise somebody to exercise their muscles? Just the daily practice of aligning themselves, or are there other things that you would suggest?
Well, you've got to start living consciously. You got to watch your thoughts. A lot of times if you write things down, like, okay, I want more money. Well, first of all, what's more money? How much more money do you want? What do you want to make this year? And what do you believe you can make this year? Because if you write down $50 million, right away the muscle of your brain is going to go, bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, again, you're working against yourself. So, and then write out, what are all my beliefs about money? And I strongly suggest that everybody go back and talk to the little child of you. From 7 years old back to conception. What was going on with your parents? What mindset were they in? What did they model for you? What messages did they give you about money? Because usually our little children are running the show.
Yeah.
And my whole experience was we don't have enough, and you're the cute one, so go to the front door and tell them that we're not home.
Yeah.
Because we don't. And then the guy would say to me, okay, little girl, you're going to lose your house if your mommy and daddy don't pay their bills. Right? So for me, money has a huge emotional and cellular reaction for me. And if I'm not conscious of that, I just had another big aha about that again today. I sat down with my CPA, who kindly went over with me, okay, Dee, when you retire, these are all the things that for sure you're going to have. This is the income for sure you're going to have. And, if you're not running all the businesses you're running and let go of those expenses, this is what you're going to have, and this is the extra that you're going to have. And that's after you pay every bill that you're paying right now. other than, the things connected to my businesses that I won't have.
Yeah.
And I could feel the tears welling up in me because I was in so much gratitude that he did this for me. And I realized that being a child of an alcoholic, you never knew what to expect. It was always, oh my God, is he drunk? Is he too drunk? How drunk is he? Is my little brother okay? Gosh, is Mom all right? Maybe I should go in and see if I need to defend her, right? It's constant. And so when I know what to expect, I feel safe.
Yeah.
And when I don't know what to expect, I don't. So for me to consciously know that so that I can always take steps to create knowing what I can expect and creating that, then I feel safe in the world. So feeling safe in the world really has to do with the inside of me, not with what's going on out there.
Yes. Yeah. And lining yourself
up. I hope you guys followed that.
I definitely did. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of times we're not lining ourselves up with what makes us safe, and that puts us in a fear space, and that doesn't work out well for us.
Yeah, look at all the things that were modeled and taught to you when you were little. You're still trying to overcome that incorrectly exercised muscle, all those synapses in your brain.
Right. Because we continue what was safe as a kid or what we knew as a kid.
Or we keep running away from the fears that we had as a kid. I'm not going to make money because money created all these. And, I've worked with people that come from having a lot of money and their parents were never there for them because they were always out making money. So money is as negatively charged to them as me, who didn't have any money.
Yeah.
We were always worried about money. Where's the money? And oh my God, we'd just be happy if we had the money. So it doesn't really have anything to do with how much there was. It has to do with were there positive, loving, beautiful, exciting, safe things that were connected with money. Same thing with relationships. If you, saw your parents arguing all the time for the sake of the family and hating each other but staying together anyway, that's something that was modeled to you that you better be sure you don't want in your relationship.
Yeah.
And then the next important thing is, I know what I don't want, so what do I do want? You don't want to keep focusing on what you don't want. So what you want is a loving, respectful, honoring relationship between two people who communicate and love each other. That's what you want. Because, your brain thinks in pictures, and it will go to the picture, and they've proven this with so many toddlers. If you say, don't touch the TV, they'll look at you with this little grin and walk over and touch the TV because their brain hears, touch the TV.
They didn't hear the don't.
Exactly. So, I gotta lose weight, I gotta lose weight, I gotta lose weight. Keeps the whole focus on the weight.
Yes.
Which doesn't give you the weight you want.
Yeah, and it's all full circle with what we were talking about earlier. About we have that reaction muscle, and it's a fear muscle too. And so, regardless of the circumstances, if we grow up, with fear around something, then we constantly react to those, or it triggers us in some way. And until we get to that loving space, it's going to be a struggle.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think we're going to try and wrap some things up. I have a few more questions. Are there any topics or classes that were most meaningful to you that you'd like to pass on to people who are listening?
Well, I think one of the there's two really, really valuable programs of mine that I'd like to talk about. One is the little child experience, which walks you through getting to know your little child and some of the messages, what you can do about it. And the other one is the I Love Me Play Shop. Guys, if there's nothing else you do in your life, focus on loving yourself more. How can I love myself more? How can I accept myself and know my magnificence more? How can I know that I'm special? I have this story of my older brother, and he was saying, "Oh, I just wish I had accomplished more. I just, especially for you," he calls me Pee-wee. There was so much I wanted to leave you. And I started to tear up, and I said, "Don't you know that just being you and being my big brother was enough? Don't you know I just love you for who you are and how much you've loved me?" And the channel, I hung up, and the channel said to me, "And when you can look yourself in the mirror and say that to yourself, then you will know you have arrived in the teaching that you're teaching."
Wow.
And
that
it's
is
true,
powerful.
Who do we want to give everything to? The people we love. And where are we on that list? At the bottom. If we're on it at all.
Yeah.
Again, we were taught it's, selfish and kind of blasphemous, right? You don't say how good you are. You don't think how good you are. You put yourself down while you're wondering why the world doesn't see how great you are.
Right. It's
crazy.
You create that paradox.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are functioning at that level.
Yes.
Okay, I guess
most of us in some way or another are still functioning in a myriad of subjects in those limitations.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, we've covered a lot. I guess before we go, I wanted to know if there was anything that you would, any advice that you would give to someone who's new to the spiritual path.
Yeah, don't make it so hard. I am a true believer that creation is fun and easy.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to... It's really very easy to channel, guys. It's a question of trusting yourself. But then, of course, you have to ask. Ask and you receive. And ask in the original Hebrew is claim or demand. So I am going to channel. I want the highest information with the highest understanding, and I want it now. I'm choosing to live consciously. So all energy work with me in doing that. Be clear about what you want and ask for it like you are in the energy of, you will give this to me now.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and it sounds like it all comes down to finding your own power and being in your own power.
Absolutely. You are the God of you. Nobody can think a thought for you or take an action for you that you don't want or you don't give your blessing to. Nobody can make you hold a perception that you don't want, that isn't serving you anymore. You literally are the I am presence of you. And that I am presence, if you read the I am discourse, it very clearly says, God, the angels, higher energy beings, no one can intercede on your behalf without your choice and your direction. So, in other words, God helps him who helps himself. So I would get busy knowing that you've got the power, and you are the power, and to start exercising that power instead of waiting for power outside of yourself to tell you what to do.
It's perfect. I think a lot of people are waiting and looking for something outside themselves.
Yeah, well, they're going to be waiting for a long time, lifetime,
Yeah.
usually.
Very true.
But the paradigm is shifting. There's I think we're awakening. I mean, you know this. I mean, there's an awakening going on, and I think that more and more people are realizing that they need to be in their own power and take control of their life.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what the populist movement's all about. It's like, no, you're not. No, this is not what we want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the world changes when you change. And I live and experience this every day, and it's still so fascinating to me that when I shift something in me, the world around me shifts. It's crazy. I can get up for a week and look in the mirror and go, Deanna, you're aging younger every day. And within 3-4 days, people are coming up to me and going, my God, are you aging younger? Almost the exact words. Crazy. Crazy to watch.
That's awesome.
My daughter used to laugh because we'd go shopping and I'd go, okay, God, I need a parking place right now. And somebody would pull out. It's crazy.
Yep.
But you live it, then you start getting proof, and then you start doing it in bigger ways.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is great. Well, you're such an inspiration.
Thank you, guys,
so grateful for being able to talk to you. I've listened to some of your podcasts and gotten to know a little bit about you, but I was so excited to get to talk to you today.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I want to invite all your listeners to call into my free radio show if you have a question for the channel about, why you're trying to do something and you keep getting blocked, or you have a health thing or a money thing. Call in or go into the archives and listen to some of the shows. It's a great way to find freedom and direction for your life.
And the show's every week?
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
And for more information about Dee, there's also her website, IamDeeWallace.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is there a number people can call in for the show? Is there a specific number?
If you go to my website, on the home page, it gives you all the information how to hook up with the show.
Oh, great.
And there's a lot of free offerings, free guidance on my website, too, that everybody can listen to get started.
Great. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it was such a pleasure when I met you, in person, because I didn't realize that, you were living this path, and it's always wonderful just meeting someone like you who's just really centered and in their power and living their light, so it's always such a pleasure to meet someone like you. And for me, I mean, not to put too much emphasis on it, but it's always a bonus when there's somebody that is like a little more in the spotlight and has, more of a reach to the mass public through your previous career, to then be able to reach out on this kind of a level, just spreading love and peace and joy.
Yeah, and we have so many people in the entertainment industry. Look at Terrell, that one song that he put out.
Yes.
And his vibration on the voice.
Yeah.
He heals by who he is.
Yeah.
Again. And we have so many people, unfortunately, we don't get the publicity that, a lot of our counterparts do. But we're here and we're out there, and if you seek us out, we're pretty powerful.
Yeah, and we're gonna change all that. It is changing. Things are shifting.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, and flipping, and the new paradigm and evolution of humanity is a love-based one.
It always has been. It always has been. That's what Buddha taught. That's what Christ taught. we're just waking up to the realization that that's the way it's always been.
It's the way it always should be.
You know, the glass is either half full or it's half empty. We're just going all of a sudden, oh my God, everything's half full. And I see it this way before. Which is, of course, what Einstein said was the most important lesson you will ever have is your perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Is the world a kind place or is the world a mean place? She didn't say it like that, but essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our perspective.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Dee.
You bet, guys. Have a great, fabulous evening.
You too. You too. And we'll keep an eye out for you if you come back out this way.
I'll be back that way sooner or later. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
All right. Thank you, Dee.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.